Hey everyone, welcome back. You really seem to enjoy the last video and I got a lot of great feedback, so I decided to make a preview for the upcoming patch 15.8 as well. This time we don't have too many jungler changes, but I will still go over every change in the patch and share my thoughts along the way. So without wasting any more time, let's jump straight into it and check out what's coming in patch 15.8. Alright, first up we have got some nice buffs coming to Blitzcrank. His passive mana ratio is going up and his Q damage is getting a boost too. This means Blitz will be able to make more plays across the map and they are more likely to work out, which is always a good thing. But of course, you have to land that Q. If you are a Blitz main or just looking to play him, you should definitely enjoy these changes. It will feel even more rewarding to pick him, especially when you are up against those usual enchanters or poke mages in bot lane, like Luke, Serrat or Nami. You get the idea. Next we have got a change for Brand. His passive damage against monsters got a buff, which is actually pretty nice. I don't personally enjoy playing against Brand jungle, but if he is somewhat balanced, I don't really mind seeing him. That said, this buff doesn't fix his main problems. His cooldowns are still on the longer side and he's still an immobile mage. Plus his core build isn't as strong as it used to be, so he's not going to suddenly become a top tier pick. This change will definitely help and yeah, we can say jungle Brand is kinda back, but he's not going to be that super annoying version we all remember. I will probably keep him in B tier or maybe below A tier, especially since for most players below Emerald he won't be that effective. Wei is next on the buffs list. Starting off with his ult, yeah, it's getting a buff, but let's be honest, it's kind of a placebo buff. Don't expect it to change much. Wei is already solid in the right hands, and if he ever becomes stronger, it definitely won't be because of his small ult tweak. But the more meaningful change is to his passive. The damage is going up, and that's pretty nice buff. This should make him feel stronger, especially in the late game when fights go longer. Overall, it's a good change and honestly, I still have no idea what this chamber actually does, but somehow he does everything. Up next, we have got some small buffs for Mal. She is getting a bit more attack speed, but honestly, it's a really small buff. Feels like right scared someone might try building naturals on her, which, let's be real, isn't gonna happen. The health buff though is actually nice and definitely deserved. On top of that, her passive attack speed per stack is going up as well. I get why Riot is going for this kind of buff. If they are made her ability stronger, it could get pretty frustrating to play against her, and let's be honest, she is already kind of annoying. Still, this should make her a bit better for the average player, which is solid direction. Now for Renekton. Yeah, his ult damage got increased, but this is just a joke of a buff. Nothing worth diving deep into. It's small, irrelevant, and definitely not what he needs to become a stronger pick. Shando is getting some solid buffs. His Q slow is going up by 10% and the cooldown on his W is being reduced by 2 seconds. That might not sound like a lot, but it actually is. If you know Shen's build, he usually goes Heartsteel and Titanic Hydra and then finishes Boots, which means he has no ability haste until his third item. And even then, his items don't give much haste. So this cooldown buff is a huge help, and the extra slow is just a nice bonus. I personally like this change. I never mind having a decent Shen on my team. Singed is next and he's getting a nice passive buff with a 2-second cooldown reduction as well per target. Honestly, another great change for Singed players. I'm sure my friend who one-tricks him is gonna be very happy. Laners are getting some love in this patch, but as a jungle main, I'm still waiting for more jungle changes. Moving on, we have got Sona. They are buffing her Q damage, which is fair. Her damage is usually on the lower side unless she is going full AP or something off meta, which most support players don't do. Still, it's a smart way to buff her, and overall I would say Riot is doing a decent job so far. But we are only halfway through the patch and I already see Zoe changes coming. And that makes me a little nervous. Next, it's Serrat. His passive cooldown refund is getting increased, which is great for him, especially in the later stages of the game where he can make better use of his long range. Also, his Q base damage is going up, which is fair, since his base numbers are kind of bad. That's expected though. He is a scaling mage after all, but for Serrat players this is definitely good news. Zeri is getting a buff to her ultimate, but it honestly seems useless, kind of like Waywood buff, doesn't really change much. I don't play ADC anymore, so I'm not super familiar with her current state, but I'm pretty sure this won't suddenly make her a top pick. So yeah, if you're climbing solo queue, there are still way better AD carry options than Zeri right now. Alright, last on the buff list, we have got Zoe, and this one is actually a big deal. This buff is mainly aimed at improving her laning phase, which has been one of her weakest points. It should make her a much stronger pick in higher ranks where people can really take advantage of it. That said, I'm not super excited. Sure, a few years back, we had some flashy Zoe plays in pro play, but I don't know if anyone's really hoping for her return. We'll see how it goes. Moving into nerfs now. Gwen is off first, her E damage is being reduced a bit, but honestly it's a small change. If you already play her, especially in jungle, don't worry too much. She's still solid in the right team comp. Lulu on the other hand is taking a pretty big hit. She's losing 30 base HP and that's massive for a squishy support. Not sure why her win rate is so high this patch. Maybe there's a bug or something I missed. If you know what's going on with Lulu, drop it down in the comments. I'm actually curious. Tristana is next and her ult is getting nerfed. The damage is going down and the cooldown is going up, especially early on. So this means she will be a bit weaker in the early game and won't be able to all in as often unless you are really low. But her late game basically stays the same. She's still that scary hyper carry once she scares. Yon is getting nerfed too, and this one actually hurts. He's losing 2% max HP damage on his W, which doesn't sound huge, but it adds up. This ability is used all the time in short raids, so this nerf will definitely be fat. It sucks for young players, but let's be honest, most people won't mind seeing him a little bit weaker. Now, Yorick. Yeah, I have no idea. I couldn't find anything about him in the patch notes. Either he got removed last second or I missed it. If you notice something, let me know in the comments. Last but not least, Yumi. She is getting a small change. Her passive HP is going down early and her shield is being reduced. Not a huge change overall, she should still perform well. The bigger issue is that most people still play her like an ape, which kinda ruins her potential. But hey, Riot made her this way, so it is what it is. Now let's move into the champion adjustment, starting with Ahri. Her armor growth is going down by a fair amount. Her W base damage is getting reduced, but the AP ratio goes up. Same with her E. The W cooldown also goes up by 1 second. Overall, this feels like a nerf, especially on the Rod of Ages build. As for the Malignance build, I'm not sure if this ends up being a buff or not, depending on how much value you get from the increased AP ratios. Still, losing that extra armor kinda makes me want to stick with Rod of Ages just to make the extra HP to help me make up for the loss on the armor. I don't really play Ahri anymore though, so if anyone watching is an Ahri main or plays a lot of mid, let me know what you think in the comments. Next up is Annie. She's losing a bit of base HP, but her Q and W are getting buffed. More AP ratio on Q, more damage and a lower cooldown on W. Tibers is also getting some changes, and the big thing is she now gains magic penetration from her ult passive. Honestly, that's fair. It used to be super easy to shut down Annie with just some magic resist. Remember the old Ludens build Annie that could one-shot you? Yeah, that's not really a thing anymore. So this feels like a well-deserved adjustment. Not too strong and probably won't boost her win rate too much either. Last champion adjustment is Syndra, and this one feels like a nerf. Her W slow is getting dropped hard from 45% down to 25%, and that's going to hurt. Her E and ult are getting slight AP ratios buff, but they are also losing some base damage. So in late game, sure, she might hit a bit harder, but overall this doesn't feel great, especially since landing her stun is already tricky, and this doesn't make it feel any more rewarding. I don't even play mid, but I still don't like this change. This and the Zay buff are probably my least favorite parts of this patch. Now let's move into system changes real quick. Red Plume is getting 5 extra ability hits, which is nice. I used to love this item on Lydia, and honestly I might try it again after this change. Opportunity is next, and this item is gonna be really strong on melee champions next patch. If you're playing something like Kha'Zix, I highly recommend giving it a shot. But melee is getting a small buff, nothing too crazy, but champs like Sign or Set might enjoy it a bit more now. The nuance plate is getting nerfed. The slow effect is being reduced by 10%. I feel like there were better ways to nerf this item, like increasing the price or lowering the armor. This one feels kind of a random and not the best direction in my opinion. And that's it. These are all the expected changes in patch 15.8 or 25.8, whichever you go by. The patch should be dropping this week, so hopefully now you feel more up to date with what's coming. Thanks a ton for watching. I hope this video helped you out, and as always, I would love to hear your feedback in the comments. Free coaching for new members is still available, and so is paid coaching if you're interested. If you're unsure about the paid stuff, just check out the reviews on the Discord server. They speak for themselves. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you all in the next video.